Hello, my fellow pandemic survivors. Here today to talk to you about something that could maybe change your life, or at least change your life a little bit. It's back to the life lessons are learned everywhere. Today's lesson, learn from these tiny little seeds. Right now, I'm in my greenhouse, my potting shed. Wind is blowing something fierce. You can hear it, I'm sure. But I want to talk to you today about something you can do to help yourself in the future, and that something that just be a good idea to do with your kids, do for yourself, just start doing from now on. And that is planting some of your own food. Now, I've heard people tell me, well, you can do that because you've got a farm. I do, and I understand that, but I also used to plant food in little containers that we made on the side of our house when we lived in town and we didn't have any dirt. Any dirt we got, we had to go and buy. And when I was a kid, I actually used to plant stuff on the riverbank where I grew up and go back and get it from time to time. You can do that too. So I want to talk to you today about turnips. And turnips are very interesting because they have fed entire populations for thousands of years. All through the Middle Ages, the peasants of Europe primarily lived on turnips. And they very seldom got to eat meat. Only the elite, only the royalty got to. And you couldn't hunt. They make it out that people hunted back then. You weren't allowed to hunt in Europe because all the game was owned by the royalty. So the peasants, they ate porridge, often made from turnips. Now, everybody knows the story of the Irish. The Irish are considered the potato-eating people of the world, and it was the potato famine in the 1840s, 1850s that caused so many Irish to flee Ireland and come to the United States. So we think of potatoes as being Irish, but actually potatoes are from South America. It's believed they come from Peru, and it was in, I'm going to say, I'm thinking it's like the 1580s, that Sir Walter Raleigh actually brought the first potatoes to Ireland. He planted them on his estate in Ireland, and soon it became a popular food source. At about the same time that potatoes came from South America to Europe, turnips came from Europe to South America and to the Americas. And so it's about the 1580s that we start growing turnips in America. Now, turnips get a bad name for themselves because they were the food for the poor, but they were it was a very good food source for the poor or wealthy or anyone for that matter. And people today are all into keto. Parsnips or turnips, parsnips and turnips, either one or both, very good for the keto diet. It's a very good food source, high in all the vitamin B's that you have, has a lot of antioxidants. But the best thing about turnips is how easy it is to grow. You take these wee little seeds, look how little these are. Tiny little things. Can you even see them dropping? They're wee little things. You take these, you just barely scratch the soil, you put these turnip seeds in, water them or just leave them and let the rain water them. And in about 8 to 15 days, you have greens starting. Now, you can eat the tender shoots that grow from the turnip tops. You can eat them raw, or you can cook them. Or you can let the turnip grow. And turnip comes from two words, early words. Turn, meaning turn is in the shape of a ball, and I forget what the nup is. I think it means root, but I'm not sure. Anyhow, turnips will grow. These are purple top turnips. They will grow to about the size of a softball if given enough time. And that is a wonderful food source. You can chop it up and boil it in with your potatoes if you're making mashed potatoes, or you can eat it just by itself. It does have a bit of sweetness to it. The Europeans made porridge out of it. You can do it so many ways. It's wonderful if you roast it. You can roast it with other root vegetables in the oven. You can put a little maple syrup on it, a little honey, a little bourbon. Oh my God, can turnips taste great. You can also cook them on the grill. So many things you can do. But the best thing about turnips is you plant them and you forget about them. You come back a couple months later and you have them. Also, we are still in our cold time of the year. We are still in a frost warning zone. There's that wind. We're still in a frost warning until about May 15th. Turnips are a cold weather crop, so you can plant them now in the next couple of weeks, and by the time it starts getting warm, they'll be ready to eat. You can also plant them again in the fall and let them grow into early winter. A lot of hunters will plant turnips, including me, will plant turnips on the edge of the woods because deer will come and eat the turnip greens. And if the turnips happen to get to grow, deer will come back and they want to get that sugar from that bulb, so they'll actually pull the turnip up and eat them. So a lot of hunters will grow turnips so deer come to a certain area, and also so that it helps the deer to grow. But what I'm telling you this for is because I have 5 pounds of these. When the COVID thing first started, I asked my wife to get me as many turnip seeds as she could, and she bought me 5 pounds. The reason she bought me 5 pounds is it was the same cost as 1 pound. I'm never going to be able to use 5 pounds. That's about a couple of acres worth of turnips. So here's the deal I'm making you, my fellow survivors. Let me know if you want some. If you can come to me, that's best. If you can't come to me, I'd be willing to put some in an envelope and mail it to you. But do something good for yourself. Plant some food, grow your own food. Great way to teach your kids how to take care of themselves. And ultimately, I just want everybody to be nice and good to themselves, nice and good to their family and friends and co-workers. And together, we will get through this. Stay strong.